Hey guys, how are you doing this afternoon? Welcome to my page. My name is Michaela from Paint Fixation. If you are new to my page, please say hello. Let me know that you're here, where you're watching from. I just wanted to pop on here very quickly. I'm going to be discussing how to tell how old your piece of furniture is. If you can tell, um, just to give you some ideas on what to look for. To tell if your piece is really old or if it's a reproduction, etc. I'm not an expert. This is just some things that I've learned along the way, and I just thought before I start painting this stuff that I would show you some things that I learned about the few pieces here that I'm working on. Okay, so if you are local, I am a Dixie Belle retailer, and I have Dixie Belle paint available. I have all the products at Junk in the Trunk in Fleming Island, and also at Antiques for You in Orange Park. Also, I have a website, paintfixation.com, if you want to purchase products online. Okay, so hi Yvonne, hi. Okay, so I have these 4 pieces of furniture here. I got them from different places. 3 of them I got from the same person, but as I was stripping them down and cleaning them, I started to think, how old are these pieces? Are they even old? And I just want to show you a couple of things that I learned in my research of what you can look for to see, if you're working with wood, if you're working with MDF, if you're working with particle board. There's just a few little things that you can kind of look for to see what you're actually working on. So let me show you two of the main things that you can look for, or one main thing on these 2 drawers that I've got here. So this piece I have over here is a buffet that I got. It's a beautiful piece of furniture. I stripped the top of it. If you can see, it turned out gorgeous. So I am going to be doing the No Pain Gel Stain from Dixie Belle and walnut on the top here. And then the rest of this is it's a beautiful piece. It's very well made, but it's not as old as the other pieces that I'm working on. And I'll show you a couple of things that I can look at to tell. One, the drawers are all made with solid pieces of wood. Okay, these drawers are not pieced together. They're machine made. So the dovetails, now one thing you can check for age is dovetails. Okay, this is a solid wood quality drawer. Okay, but it is made with solid wood. There are no pieces being, thank you Yvonne, being tossed together like this drawer. This drawer, as you can tell, has several different pieces of wood used. Now, it does have the dovetail in it, but these are also machine made because, and I can tell, because the dovetails are uniform in size and shape. There's multiple, usually if they are handmade or hand cut, they have fewer dovetail joints, okay? You might have 2 in this drawer instead of 5, okay? That's one thing you can look for. Now, this one here, these 3 pieces, let me show you. So I have this dresser here, the Highboy, and this little end table here. I got them all from the same person, and I thought that they were all made from the same manufacturer, but they're not. They look almost exactly the same. They have the same hardware, but 2 of them have a mark in them, and that's the other thing that you can look for is a mark. Inside this one, it has a mark Dixie, which is kind of cool because I sell Dixie Belle paint. But so we have Dixie in here. So I did some research, and this company was started in the early 1940s. So I can pretty much do a very good educated guess that this is probably early 40s piece of furniture. But the Highboy, which looks identical, except after I realized it's not a Dixie, the edges here, right? this part right here is not exactly. So if you look on this one over here, they have, let's see, you might be able to see this better. Right here, there are some notches on the edges of this one that are not on the other one. And I did not recognize that. If you can see it right there. And on this one, it's straight all the way down. There's no block in between, which is something I did not recognize until I started to look at the piece of furniture and saw that 2 of them had a mark and 1 of them did not. Okay, so they are not made by the same company, but they're so similar that until I saw the mark, I couldn't tell that there was a difference. Okay, but these are rough. I mean, I'm pretty sure these were machine cut because they are uniform. You see how uniform these are? Hey, Jason, thank you. So when I say machine cut, if you have a piece of furniture that's hand cut, it's a possibility that was made before the 1860s, before they started using machines to cut the dovetails. The other thing is, are you working with wood? These are completely solid wood. Now, one of the ways to tell, of course, is to look at it. You know, you can tell this is wood. There's no particle board. You can see the ends of all the pieces. Another thing that I thought was interesting is that highboy is not as heavy as, or in size-wise, I should say, as this little tiny table right here. The woods are different weights. I mean, I'm not sure what the type of wood it is. I'm pretty sure that these 3 pieces are mahogany. They are very red. I do not think that they're cherry. I was able to sand them down and strip them down to the bare wood, and I'll try and show you. I don't know how the lighting is in the garage, but it was so windy out there I had to shut the door. Let me see. So you can see this is completely down to bare wood, but there's lots of dark red coloring in there. So I'm pretty sure, I feel pretty confident that those are mahogany. And in my research, I found that mahogany was very popular in the early 1940s for furniture making. I'm a research person. I love to know stuff. And so I love to research. So I'm not an expert. I'm just coming on here telling you what I found to find very interesting. And Jason says that he's mixed brands of the same style to complete sets just like they belong together when finished. That's exactly right. Honestly, these 3 pieces look completely identical, except for that one little block on the edges that I didn't even notice until I got them home. Or actually, not even when I got them home. I've been working on them and I still didn't realize it until I started to think, you know, how do I know, if these are old? Now, even if these were, now they're considered an antique, they're 80 years old, but I'm going to paint them because there's so much damage to them. I had to fill in the veneer. Now, it would not have been economical for me to replace the veneer. Not going to do that. I would not make any money unless if I was going to keep them here at home and I wanted it to be, original piece. I'm not going to replace veneer. So I had to mud, as you can see down here, right in that area there. There's a bunch of mudding I had to do there. I'm going to bring it over here. Let me see, which one is it? One of these I had to completely do. Let me see. I think it's this one. So down here, I had to fill in this whole area and feather all this in so that it would be flat. Now the tops, this is look at the wood grain on this. Isn't that beautiful? The tops of these were in pretty good condition, but there was a lot of wear and tear on. I'm sorry if I'm making y'all dizzy. There was a lot of wear and tear on them. So I decided to strip the tops. So there was a lot of scratching, dents, divots. Those are almost completely gone now that I have stripped them down and sanded them. So the tops are going to be getting stained. So that's another area where if you strip your tops, you can see if you're working with wood. Now I'm going to show you. These tops, even like right in here, I don't know, let me see if I can bring y'all closer. Let it get down here on the floor. So do you see right here how they use different woods in here? So this is pieced together, okay? But if you, I can't get y'all under here, but if you go underneath, because this is veneer, obviously, there's a very thin, see how this dark line right here is? This is veneer, which is very common on furniture. A lot of times they'll use a less expensive piece of wood for the top, and then they'll use a higher quality wood and the veneer to go on top. The problem comes in if you start sanding and doing things to your veneer. If you sand through that veneer and there's not wood underneath, you have a problem. You're going to have to paint it unless you replace the veneer. But all of these pieces have solid wood tops. And I can tell that because I can see it from underneath. And I'm not able to show y'all, but that is one way to tell if your tops are solid. A lot of times you'll think you have a solid top, but it's actually particle board or MDF with a wood top veneer, okay? But these were all pieced together. So even on the side, you can see the wood top. Look at all these different woods. So they're boards that they have glued together to make this top. This is not a solid top. This is all different woods that they have pieced together and then put a solid veneer on top. Now underneath here, I can see the grain of the wood. And you can, another thing that you can do to see, if you strip your piece down and you look at the edges, okay? I'm going to try and bring you close enough to see this. Let me lower this down just a little bit. I'm not sure you'll be able to quite tell on here. Okay, but this was where these were sawed. Do you see how this is circular? Coming this way, actually it goes, whoop, wait, it goes like this. See that? These are circular saw marks, okay? All of these have a circular saw mark. That means more than likely these have been cut with a circular saw, which is an electric saw or a mechanical saw. If they had been sawed before mechanical saws were invented, they would have more of a straight saw line, okay? That puts you before 1860 in theory. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who make their own furniture. There's a lot of artists out there who still make furniture with the old pre-electric tools. I find it fascinating. I love watching them on YouTube. It's like so relaxing to me to watch people make stuff out of, all of the hand saws and everything. I think it's wonderful. But for mass-produced furniture, it's unlikely that they're going to be doing that. So unless someone made this furniture for them, their family or whatever, more than likely they're using electric saws. But that's a telltale sign. If you have circular saw marks, they're most likely done with an electric saw. So that helps you place in time where a piece of furniture has been made. Now, this piece over here, as beautiful as it is, I'm under the inclination that this piece is not as old as these pieces back here. One, all the drawers are very uniform in color, and they all have just one piece of wood. They're not pieced together. All of the dovetail joints in these are very uniform throughout the whole piece. And also the other thing that you can check is screws, nails, those types of things. You can look, if you're really starting to think that your pieces are really old, you can look at the screw if it has screws. Now, a lot of the really old pieces, they didn't have screws; they just used nails. But you can look at the screws and pull a screw out, and there's identifying factors on screws that can tell you if the whole screw was made with a machine, or if a lot of times they would make the screws with a machine maker, and then they would just stamp the tops of them for the screw head. I find all this stuff very interesting. I don't have those. These actually mostly have nails in them. So, in fact, I had to pull a couple of nails out. I was having to glue my drawers together. I have this open just a little bit and the breeze is kind of chilly. So I had to glue a lot of these drawers together on these older pieces because of the slats. So these slats were all coming apart here. These were all coming apart. And I had to glue them. But I found some nails in them that I had to pull out and replace. And the nails were very, very old nails. You can just tell by looking at them that they were not mass manufactured nails. Whereas this one has mass manufactured nails on it. I find it interesting, and I think it's something that, especially for, it has wooden pegs. Yep. And these have the metal ones. You can see these have, and those are easily replaced. Do you see the metal stops up there? The other things that you can check for are your drawer slides. So all of these drawer slides are very much they're very well done. They're not falling apart. Actually, for the condition of the outside of these pieces, these were in very good condition. Okay. I think that the outside of these pieces had some water damage, and that's why I had some veneer issues. But all of that has been fixed either with glue or mud. You can glue your veneers down. You can mud them in. Now, of course, this buffet is almost in immaculate condition. I didn't have to fix. There's one tiny little piece of veneer. I had to just fill in like this much. And then the bottom of it down here, someone's dog got a hold of it and had scratched all the bottom of it. But because it's solid wood, I was able to sand it smooth. And now you won't even, once it's painted, you won't be able to tell. But the top on this is gorgeous. Look at this. I decided at the last minute yesterday to strip this top down. I wanted to see what it would look like stripped. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. So I've decided to stain the top in walnut. And I'm going to paint the base of this in caviar, which is our darkest black. I'm going to paint this in caviar with a high gloss finish. And I'm going to do walnut on the top. Also, I've got all of my hardware soaking in a bucket with White Lightning, which is Dixie Belle's cleaner. And it is amazing when it hits that White Lightning, how it just starts to just clean. I mean, I haven't even picked them up to scrub them yet. My husband's so funny. But I was trying to think if there's what else, who's on here. Does anybody else can think of anything else that you would look for? So you look for dirt, which is funny, but you want to look in the back of your piece. I've already cleaned these out, but in the backs, age equals dirt. So you want to look for dirt. You want to make sure that you don't have worms, but if you have true wormholes, now that's the other thing that mass manufacturers will do to trick you is they will actually make wormholes with tools. So it's like fake age. It's like they do anything to try and trick you. So if your wormholes are uniform and they're like, you can tell, trust me, when you look at them, you'll know. That's just an indication that they were mass produced because wormholes are not natural and they're not even. So Yvonne said she found it is so cool to look at old furniture. I have an antique an antique washstand in the house, and I should have brought a drawer from that one out here because that one only has, it's got drawers on it about the size of this one. Now this one has 1, 2, 3, 4.5 dovetails on this. My washstand only has 2. Okay, it has 2. So probably hand done, okay? Because if it was done with a machine, they could knock out 5 of them easily on a drawer this size. But that one only had 2. You want to look at your slides to see how much wear is on the slides. On this one, you can see it looks newer, but even these old ones that I know are probably from the 40s are still in pretty good condition. Now, that could mean that they've been replaced. That's one thing that you might not know about. If a piece has had pieces replaced on it, you might not know that. What else can I tell you? In my research, the buffet I just did had wormholes in all the wood under the veneer. See, and that's a thing, and you have to make sure that the worms are gone. So I had one dresser that I got. It was beautiful, but it had active worm activity. So one way you can tell is you can clean out. So they have like dust buildup, almost like an anthill in the back of your drawers. So one thing you can do, just a simple way, is to take out the dust and let it sit outside. You don't want to bring that kind of furniture into your house because they will move on to your other wood pieces. Hi, Stacy, welcome. And so if you clean out the dust and then let it sit for a few days, and if that dust reappears, you have active activity. You have active worms or mite, some kind of a bad animal. You can treat it or you can burn it. So it depends on how much you are invested in that piece. For me, the piece was active, and I took it apart and threw it away. It was really not in that good of condition to pay for someone to treat it because it's not a cheap process. So that is something too. If you're going and picking up old furniture from someone's home or from a thrift store, hopefully a thrift store would check for that kind of thing, but you never know. Take a quick peek inside the drawers, inside the piece, and see if it looks like there's any worm or insect activity, powder post beetles. You just want to make sure there's no beetle activity, worm activity before you bring it into your home. Okay, that's the main thing. You don't want to infect any of your other wood furniture. What else? So look for types of wood. If you have multiple types of wood used on a piece, usually it's pieced together. What else? I think that's pretty much the main things I thought of. I am happy that all these pieces are solid wood. It's been a while since I've had such good quality pieces. I'm excited. I'm going to be doing, like I said, the high gloss caviar with the walnut top on this. And then these pieces here, all of these pieces are just beautiful. I love the curved, what happened here? Hang on. Okay. I love the curved, I don't know if y'all can see the curve on this dresser. I love the curves on these. And they all have, these 3 pieces, of course, like I said, have identical hardware. And Jason, who is on here, I'm going to, my garage is a mess. Don't look back there. Look over here. It's a mess. I'm going to be using vintage duck egg on these 3 pieces. I'm going to be doing gold hardware, and I'm thinking I'm going to do a Van Dyke glaze, which is brown, and a walnut top. That's my thinking. As you guys know, I don't always stick with my original thought, but I do have my paint, and I'm going to be doing vintage duck egg, walnut top, and I'm thinking Van Dyke glaze. Not 100% sure, but that's what I'm thinking. And I'm hoping to spray this stuff. I was going to be on here yesterday to show y'all. No concerns in the garage. Nope. I don't have anything else out here to get into. So yesterday it rained. Today is crisp and nice, and I can spray temperature wise, but the wind is whipping out there, and I was really wanting to do it outside, not in the garage. But I am going to be painting my husband's car, so I am going to be sanding it probably Wednesday or maybe tomorrow afternoon. Depends on how much of this I get done. So I'm going to be painting his car, so I will be using my sprayer to do his car. So I know I've been telling y'all I want to do another video on spraying, using a sprayer to paint. Of course, I'm painting his car with automotive spray paint, not Dixie Belle paint. But I'm thinking about showing you the process of that. Just well, for one thing, so I don't forget how to do it next time, because I did his other car a few years ago, and I've kind of forgotten the process. So I have to re-educate myself in the next couple days. In the meantime, trying to do all this stuff. But I kind of might go through that process, do some quick little lives with each process of sanding and priming and painting and then doing the top coat. We'll see. Yeah, my husband's on here. He's very excited. Except we're supposed to be getting rain on Thursday. So I'm in Florida. The weather really does dictate whether I can spray or not. I'm kind of getting impatient with this. I might end up just, at least on the vintage duck egg, I might go ahead and use a brush on those, at least for the first coat. I don't know. This one I really want to spray it because I want the piece to be all sprayed. I want it to be an all sprayed piece so I can kind of see what the finish I get on that, because I have not done an all sprayed piece before. And I will be spraying the high gloss finish. I'm going to be, so I have to I'm going to do the tops last, which normally I don't do that, but I don't normally spray. So the gel stain will go on absolutely last before the top coat. So I will cover the tops, tape them down, spray the bottoms, and then I'll gel stain them, and then I'll do the top coat over the whole piece. All right, well, that's just my thoughts for the day. I hope everybody enjoyed the education. If you guys that are watching on the replay can think of anything that I may have missed, because like I said 100 times, I'm not an expert. I'm just interested in learning. Just put them in the comments so that we can all see what you know. And if anyone that's on here can think of anything I forgot, put it in the comments. And if you have questions, put it in the comments. I will answer them. If you enjoyed the video, sprinkle it along. And I'll see y'all next time. Wednesday night at 7. Wednesday night at 7. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, but I'll be here. Okay? All right. God bless. Good night.